Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. So what a day or night it was at Old Trafford yesterday. Manchester United beating West Ham 3-1. Two late goals from Garnacho and Fred to give us that 3-1 win. And that Garnacho goal was something, wasn't it? 90th minute winner in front of the Stretford end. A fantastic first touch and the finish to match as well from Garnacho, who is looking like some talent, isn't he? He's absolutely some talent, and Manchester United need to get him signed down to a long-term deal. It's believed those talks are ongoing, and hopefully those will be wrapped up before the summer. They need to get that done because there'll be plenty of teams sniffing around Alejandro Garnacho. But in this video, we're going to be talking about Manchester United's chances in all the competitions that remain. Obviously, I think we're 11 points off top spot in the league with a game in hand, but we're not far off Manchester City, who some would consider are the favourites for this league title. Me personally, I don't think we're involved in that. But what is very much on is a possible cup treble. And after winning that League Cup at Wembley, Manchester United then cemented their places in the last 8 of the FA Cup, which means a win against Fulham at Old Trafford in the next round would cement a spot for another place at Wembley in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. We've obviously beaten Barcelona in the Europa League as well, which has put us into the last 16 of the Europa League. Barcelona were probably the favourites at that point where Manchester United beat them for the tournament, and we've now got Betis next up to seal our place in the last 8, potentially if we can beat them over 2 legs. So things are going very, very well for Eric Ten Hag's men at the moment, and we've obviously got a chance in all those cup competitions, but we need to be a little bit wary as well, because we have seen in that first half against West Ham and on a number of occasions for United this season that when a few of those key players, your Casemiros, Varanes, Martinez, Rashford, aren't in the team, we do suffer for it. But we'll get stuck into all of that. It's mainly positive vibes at Old Trafford at the moment, and I'm absolutely loving it. But before we do get stuck into that, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button here. But also, head over to the club, the link's in the description below, and subscribe. We're like a couple of 400 subscribers away from hitting that 100k target. We've been going for about 5 or 6 weeks. It's absolutely incredible, the reaction that we've had to the new channel. Everything, the views, everything's been nuts. So thank you very much for being a part of that. But if you've not subscribed, head over there and subscribe so we can hit that 100k, hopefully today, but by the end of this week. Thank you very much for that. As I was saying anyway, yesterday's game at Old Trafford showed us 2 things. We can win any competition that we're in, but also when we do not have those players that I mentioned before, there's a few issues, and it shows you why. I saw a lot of people discussing the Rangnick quote online recently and saying Rangnick said that we needed 10 signings. Ha ha ha, what an idiot. And I think when you look at what Rangnick said, whilst I think he probably underestimated the improvement that we could get out of the current squad, and when you look at the likes of, Rashford, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, I think David De Gea has shown improvements this season. You look around various parts of the team, Diogo Dalot's another one, that were already here when Ten Hag arrived. Ten Hag has improved a lot of those players, but also we've brought in a lot of players, and what Rangnick said was right. We did need 10 signings, I think he said we needed. And you look at it and you go, we brought in Terrell Malacia, we brought in Lisandro Martinez, we brought in Marcel Sabitzer, Casemiro, that's 4 already. We brought in Anthony, we brought in Weghorst. Garnacho's been added to the team, he wasn't in the team previously. And unless I've missed someone out, I think we brought in a goalkeeper, Tom Heaton, as well. We still need a few more signings. Do you know what I mean? So the 10th player thing is ringing true to me. And I know Rangnick got some things wrong along the way. And I think that was shown again in the first half. We start McTominay in midfield. He doesn't show for the ball enough. He doesn't demand the ball enough. Maybe you can say he's playing out of position in that position. But even when he's in the number 8, not good enough really for Manchester United. We've seen Fred make improvements under Erik ten Hag, and whilst I still think Fred has those Jekyll and Hyde days in him, more positives than negatives from him, I don't think McTominay's the same, and I think we need to replace him in the squad. I'd arguably keep a bit to replace McTominay in the squad. Then you look at, the back line. Harry Maguire came in yesterday, and I think in the second half he did some positive things, but generally speaking, he changed our game way too much. When you look at the way we were trying to play out from the back, David De Gea giving up, and look, David De Gea could be changed as well. That's another player. But when we were bringing the ball to Lindelof, there was no movement from Maguire, no movement from McTominay, and things broke down. Eventually went long. Then you're playing 50-50 passes. West Ham have got a chance, and then they're winning the ball back and coming at you. And that was an issue for United in the first half. That changed when we brought Casemiro on, changed a little bit when we brought Lisandro Martinez on. But I thought Lindelof was probably unlucky to be the one to come off, because the manager likes to keep those left-footed players on the one side, and it made sense from his perspective. But you could argue that, Maguire was the one that probably should have come off. I thought his performance did improve in the second half, but my general point still stands. These players need to be replaced. You could argue potentially at right back, then at goalkeeper. So you're already looking at 3 or 4 players, that Man United need to bring in. That would then see us have a squad that could hopefully go on and win that league title. Because when we do bring those players out, there's too much of a drop off. And you look at City's bench and they're streets ahead. So Ten Hag's development at United is still, a transfer window or 2 away, depending on who our owners are in the summer, from really getting the squad to where he wants it to be. But the second half showed you we can win any competition. We can win any competition. And you look at the teams left in this competition. If United can beat Fulham, get to a semi-final, you'd expect City will probably be there. They've got Burnley at home, although Burnley playing very well. They came to Old Trafford, gave us a test in the Carabao Cup. You've got 2 championship sides playing against each other. And you've got Brighton against Grimsby. So you're looking at that and you're thinking, if you can get through to the semi-final, of course, you might have to beat Man City along the way. But that's a competition Manchester United can win. We're probably second favourites for at the moment. And Erik ten Hag going up against Pep's side at the moment, I'd fancy us to do them. Of course, they can beat us. So you look at the FA Cup, very, very winnable. You look at the Europa League now, I think this is where our squad comes into it. And maybe, you have to get a little bit lucky with the draws and those kind of things. Because I think those Thursday, Sunday kind of swap overs, and you're seeing how quick the games are coming, could be an issue. You've got to beat Betis, although they're not flying in the La Liga at the moment. United still have to go to Spain and win, and that's something we've found difficult to do over the years. So you're looking at those things and you're thinking, competitions we can win. And under Erik ten Hag, there'll be an expectation to do that. There's a hunger to do that. I was worried after the Carabao Cup final, maybe some of these players wouldn't turn up. And in the first half, I was thinking, oh my God, maybe that's the case. But we saw it again. So I'm confident a cup treble could potentially be on. I don't think we're going to win the league this season. Arsenal at the moment return to form as well, looking really good for their position at the top. I think if they do slip away, though, Man City will probably going to win the league if Arsenal slip. You'd need a huge drop-off from Arsenal, a drop-off from City for United to have a chance. And I don't think both of those things will happen. And that's, as I said, too early for us. So we're right where we need to be. And at the start of the season, we would have said a cup would be a bonus. Top 4 is a must. And at the moment, it looks like both of those things are going to happen. One of those things already have happened. And as I said, we're sitting here talking about, could United win a cup treble and all that? It's mental. Where Ten Hag has brought us, it's absolutely mental. But I'm loving every moment of it. But you also have to be aware that there will be bumps in the road. You could get knocked out against Fulham or Betis. And then, I don't think there'd be any reason to panic as well. This is a manager that's, to me, always had control. When he's in the press, when he's dealing with his players, on and off the pitch, his tactics, his subs. He's just a man that's got control. And I trust him that if we did hit rocky waters, he'd steady the ship and get us back on it. So, may the good times roll under Erik ten Hag. And next season's huge for us. It's important we have a massive summer because if we get the recruitment right, who knows, we can have a proper go at trying to win that league next season. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I don't even know what I'm going to title this video. I've just been rambling on. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep it like, comment, share, subscribe. Until next time, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.